I'm Elizabeth Dias, a writer-reporter for Time magazine, and I'm here today at Saddleback Church in Lake Forest, California with Pastor Rick Warren of Purpose-Driven Life fame and the author-creator of the Daniel Plan. Pastor Rick, tell me about the origin of the Daniel Plan.
The Daniel Plan is a program to get people healthy in our church as a part of a much bigger plan, which we call the Peace Plan. The epiphany that got my attention was last year I was doing a baptism. Now we baptize after every service in this church, but I baptize once a month. And on this particular day, I baptized 867 people on one day. It took me about 4.5 hours. And as I was doing this, putting these people under the water one at a time, about number 500, I had a thought. It wasn't a very spiritual thought like a pastor should have. It was this: man, we're all fat. We're all overweight. And I realized this is not your father's Saddleback where we were all these young, thin yuppies, but we were progressively putting on more weight. And then I thought, but I'm overweight. And I'm a terrible example of this. Most of the health problems in the world, in America particularly, are not the result of infectious diseases. We're killing ourselves from not enough sleep, too much stress, too much food, not enough exercise. And so I thought, you know what? To be a good steward, we have to take care of this area of our life too. So I said, I'm going to get in shape. Does anybody in the church want to get in shape with me? Now I'm figuring maybe 200 or 300 people will sign up. 12,000 of my members signed up. So we started a website called the danielplan.com or danielplan.com where people could go and actually put in their numbers and could track their health over a period of months. Now, people ask, what makes the Daniel Plan different? The first thing is there's prayer. We actually pray about getting healthy. Second, we do Bible studies on it, and I developed a curriculum on what the Bible says about physical health, and we showed that in our small groups. We discovered over the last year that people who were in a small group lost twice as much as people who did the plan on their own. We started the program, and in the last year, between 2011 and 2012, I've lost 55 pounds. I've got about 35 more pounds to lose. My members have lost over 260,000 pounds at the latest that I've had. 260,000 pounds.
Well, what about faith makes weight loss and health particularly effective? I'm
not just doing it because I want to look good, not because I want to fit into that dress or those pants. But I see this as I'm responsible to God to make the most of my time, my life, my body, my words, my relationships. So there's a stewardship issue.
How can faith communities change the state of obesity in America?
You know, Elizabeth, I think that health is just one of the many issues, these global issues, that we need a partnership between private sector, public sector, and the faith sector. And each of them brings to the table something that the other doesn't have. And people ask me all the time, they say, well, are you trying to reinvent healthcare? And I say, no, I'm trying to reinvent health.
How do you keep guilt out of the Daniel Plan?
I think a certain amount of guilt is good. I think there's some things I ought to feel guilty over. If I went out and shot somebody, if I don't feel guilty about it, that's called a sociopath. So guilt isn't a bad thing, it's what you do with guilt. Sin might be private, but it's never personal. In other words, if I don't take care of my body, it doesn't just affect me. It affects my kids. It affects my wife. It affects my grandkids. It affects my employer. So what I do, I'm sorry, does have an effect on other people, and I should accept responsibility for that. Responsibility means we are response-able. I am able to respond. And we need to get rid of the victim mentality and get back to the responsibility mentality, not just in health, but in every area.
Pastor Rick, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.